Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning into the first episode of TYREE Has the Audacity podcast. My name is TYREE, and of course, I will be your host for this morning, this afternoon, and this evening. Now, today, to start things off, I would like to say thank you for taking the special time out of your busy schedule to come on and see what I have to say. Now, for today's episode, I want to discuss the four-letter word. For some people, this easy word is hard to comprehend, and for other people, they grasp it the first go around, but it takes some learning. But that's why I'm here. I'm here to give you the tips and the tools that you need to survive this roller coaster. Now, let me spell it out for you so you'll understand what we're talking about. L-O-V-E. Now you understand what I was talking about. See, this easy word, you can spell it, but people always don't understand it. Many times people will look at the definition and they'll get confused because they're like, oh, okay, well, I can do this and this will express my love to you. And little do they know, they're actually hurting the person that they are so-called in love with. So I actually wrote down two definitions that I want to go over. So I went to Google. Now, Google defines love as an intense feeling of deep affection. Now, that's great. Deep affection is cool, but a crazy person can be in love with you and have deep affection. That's what that tells me. A psycho could be in love with me since they have deep affection, but that's not what love is. That's not what love is. The second definition that they have is a deep romantic or sexual attachment. Now, let me explain something to you. If you have sexual attachment to anything, it ain't necessarily because you love them. You lust for them, but you don't love them. I mean, come on now, let's be real. You could have deep attachment or a deep sexual attachment to your neighbor and you're having sex with him every time, whenever you feel like, however you feel like doing it, every day, every week. Does that mean you're in love with them? No. Well, at least it don't sound like love to me. But the definition I'm about to give you for love is how I perceive it. Now, love is a feeling that goes beyond almost all sense of physicality. To love is to feel such a strong feeling for another that you can understand them in a way that only a few people can. See, their very existence is a gift and a treasure, whether they are with you or whether they are not. The mere thought of them fills you with a deep thought for both the world and for yourself. Whenever filled with sadness or sorrow, the thought of this person will make you smile and will remind you of who you are and why you are with the person that you're with. See, even a mere glance at them, simple smile says so much, and you will find something each and every time you get a glimpse of them. See, that is what love is. See, that is the love we need to go back to. We need to get back to the love where you will do any and everything for the person that you are with in order to see them succeed. See, that is the love we need to get back to. Now, along the way, or in history, we have adopted this thing within love where you start hitting on people and you start manipulating people and taking control of the other person's mind because you so-called love them. Well, I'm gonna tell you, if you're that person, then you should take your right hand, slap your face on the right side, and take your other hand and slap your hand on the other side. See, let me explain something to you. When you are in love with someone, you don't hit people. You hit people out of anger. Now, just because I'm angry with you, that don't mean I need to hit you. But that even goes back farther to how you deal with yourself. See, before you can love anyone else, you have to learn how to love yourself. Self-love is the best love, but you can't love anybody else until you learn to love yourself. That's just the God-given principle. That's the rule. That is the foundation you carry when walking into a relationship. You can't walk into a relationship with a foundation that's unstable. How are you two going to bring together two foundations and try to build on top of that when it's not even properly, it's not built. It's not built properly. How you going to build something off of that? Then you build a house and the walls start to shaking in a windstorm. You can't survive a tornado. You can't survive a hailstorm because your foundation isn't correct. You don't have the proper insulation, so it's cold every time you go to sleep. See, this is the problem with the love we have today. And this was the problem with the love we had back then. But see, it's all right. We're going to address it. And I'm going to give you some tools to fix this issue. So one of the main things that people introduced into the love culture, I should say, is when you adopt this thing of being stupid. Now, I'm going to explain to you what being stupid is. Being stupid is having you, or no, I'm going to give you an example. Take me. I have a girlfriend, hypothetically speaking, and I'm going to stay in the house, but you want to go out. You're not going out with your friends, but you just want to go out. So I'm like, okay, you can go, have your fun. 12 o'clock. Okay, it's cool. You're out, you're alone. You be great. I'm up. It's 1 o'clock. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. I ain't getting no text. I ain't getting no call. So at 1:30, I'm gonna send you a text, but I don't get a response. Okay. 2 o'clock. I'm wondering where you are. You should have been home by now. It's 3 o'clock. I ain't got a call. I ain't got a text. Oh, now it's 4. So you done been out all night. I haven't gotten sleep. I love you enough to stay up to make sure you get into the house. But you don't love me enough to give me the decency to give me a text back. You don't love me enough to to let me know that you're okay. You don't love me enough to come home to me. You don't love me enough to be transparent with me. You don't love me enough to I'm tongue-tied. Now I'm getting in my feelings because I used me as an example. Now I'm upset because she don't love me the way that I love her. See, people have to understand, and you got to pick up on the signs. The Lord does give you signs when it comes to love. And you can't be oblivious to the situation. You can't be lustful after a specific person that you become blind to all of the signs that are presented to you. But see, this is something that people do every day. But it's all right because we're going to correct it today. So let me give you the signs. The signs are, 1, you don't take the necessary time to give to me as much as I give my time to you. There's an unequal balance. Now, I get that you have a life, but I have a life too. I get that you have a job, but I have a job just as well. You make your money, I make my money. But at the end of the day, when we come together, it shouldn't just be me giving you my time. What happens to you giving me your time? When I want something from you, you always put me on the back burner. Don't nothing get hot on the back burner of a stove. All the heat is in the front. But for some reason, you want a cold relationship. So you put me on the back burner of your stove. And you put everything else in front of me. So now, I'm going to think, oh, okay. So now you have other people. You're entertaining other people. You're entertaining other ideas. And these ideas I am not a part of. Therefore, I have a problem with you. So the first problem is you not giving me the equal time that I give you. The second problem is communication. Here's the thing about communication. A text, a call, does not amount together equally to a physical conversation. When I want to talk to you face to face, I want to talk to you face to face. I don't want you to pick up your phone. I don't want you to text me. I don't want you to call me. I want you to talk to me face to face, person to person. I want to see your facial expressions. I want to see your body movement. I want to see what energy you giving off when I'm talking to you. I want to see what you're thinking while I'm talking to you. See, this is the thing that we have lost in this generation. We have lost the conversation. We have lost the face-to-face because we're so used to social media. We're so used to technology that we depend on letters. Technological letters to showcase how we feel. I like emojis, but I don't want you to send an emoji to me to describe how you feel. I want you to show me on your face. You can lie through a text message. Shoot, we all lie through text messages. So I know if I have lied through a text message, then you can lie through a text message. But I don't want you to lie to me. But just so I know that you're not lying to me, I want to talk to you face to face. I want to have a sit down conversation. I want to look at you while you're looking at me while I'm looking at you. So communication is the second thing. The third thing is actions. Now we can go out together. You know, we could walk around. We could walk on the sidewalk. We could go to the park. You know, we could go to the mall. But I'm looking at your actions. You see, I can buy all of you this stuff and you will feel happy-go-lucky. You know, you'll be happy. You'll be overjoyed that I just got you all of these things. But while I'm walking, I'm noticing that every dude that passed by that look at you, you looking back at them and smiling, but you ain't looking at me. You don't look at me the way you look at them. Why is that? Is it because that you're using me? Or is it because that you see something in other people that you don't see in me? Because if that's the case, then you can leave me and cling to the person that you want to be with. That's what you can do. You don't have to be with me, which is the fourth thing. You got to learn to let go when it comes to love. Because when you don't learn how to let go, you get comfortable in situations. You start to accept BS that you normally wouldn't accept. You know that you have been in a time where you were with somebody and they did everything under the sun. But for some reason, you decided to stay with them. Now, it could have been because of this Google definition where it said you had a sexual attachment. That's probably why you stayed with them. Or it could have been something else. It could be something that only you know and only you will ever know. But what I'm going to tell you right now is that don't get comfortable in relationships. Because when things start to go stagnant on a relationship line, when the line goes straight, when it ain't no rises, no falls, when it ain't no hills and no dips, no incline, no decline, no ups, no downs, then that let me know somewhere along the timeline, you done started messing with somebody else because all of the energy you were giving to me, you are now giving to somebody else. Therefore, we have a problem. Because things are starting to change. And here's another thing I would like to say about communication. You have to let people know how you feel. You have to let people know how you feel. I'm not a mind reader. So if you're in a relationship with me, don't expect me to know what you're thinking. Okay? Now, most of the time, I'm going to be 2 steps ahead of the game. That's just how it's going to be. Now, the other times, you are going to be 3 steps ahead of me. But we still have to let each other know how we feel. Tell me your emotions. Tell me what you're feeling in a specific moment. See, when you hold on to things in a relationship, you'll continue to bottle it up. You'll bottle it up. Every day you shake up the can. The next day, you shake up the can a little harder. The third day, you shake up the can one more time. The next day, you take an Altoid and you throw it in there. Altoids don't do nothing to it, but it just dissolves, but it starts a little bubble. But on that last day, you take something, you put it in a soda, and it explodes. And I'm going to tell you this, you're not going to explode on me because you didn't tell me how you was feeling. You're not going to do that. Okay? Now let me tell you guys something. The only time you have a pass to explode on somebody is when you have constantly and consistently told a person how you feel, but they don't change. That's the only time you can explode on somebody. But what you do not have the authority to do, you don't have the audacity to blow up on me when you haven't told me everything that was going on with you. But see, like I said in the front, you have to love yourself enough to tell other people how you're feeling. See, you don't love yourself when you hold on to stuff. When you hold grudges and you just keep taking stuff and you let people picker at you and you let people pester at you, that's not what, you don't have love for yourself. And like I said, you can't love me when you don't love you. But now I want to move on. Because now I'm going to show you what love is. Love is when you can sit on a couch by your spouse, by your boyfriend, by your girlfriend. You can sit on the couch, have your feet propped up. You're cuddling and whatnot. You're watching a movie. You got the fireplace on. And don't nobody make a sexual move. See, that's what love is. The fact that I can sit with you and be comfortable with you and be affectionate with you and not feel the need to get sexual with you. Oh, I'm sorry. I got tongue tied. And feel the need that I don't have to get sexual with you. See, that's what love is. See, I don't have to have sex with you to let you know that I love you. Matter of fact, let's talk about that. Let's talk about how people associate love with sex and with sex only. Just because you can please somebody don't mean that you love them. People start believing this theory that you have to have sex with somebody to love them, and you have to have sex with somebody to see if you love them. But I want to go deeper. Now, a lot of people are going to feel attacked, but that's okay. You know, you can believe what you want to believe. But here on TYREE Has the Audacity, I'm going to spend the time that I have giving my opinions on topics. Now, my opinion is no sex before marriage. That's my opinion. Now, most of my followers, most of my listeners, if not all of my listeners, don't believe that. You guys believe that sex should come before marriage to see if the connection is really a connection. But I'm telling you this, no, that's not what it's about. It's not about sex at the end of the day. See, when you associate love with sex, you prioritize the wrong things. You make pleasing somebody sexually a priority, when really you don't even know how the other person thinks yet. You make sex a priority when you don't know how the other person feels when you hold them. You make sex a priority when you don't even know what a person is feeling in a certain situation. See, love is when I can look at you and tell you your emotion before you even think about telling me. See, that's what love is. Love is me being able to come in and remove you from a situation that you can't seem to get yourself out of without you telling me that you are in a situation. See, that is what love is, but people get so associated with sex. Sex will only last for what? How long? 10 minutes? 5 minutes? 15 minutes. You'll be lucky if you make it to 20. Some people do it for 30. An hour, that's your business. Now, if you're having sex for 2 hours, now that's, everybody has their own thing. That's not my business. I'm not here to judge people. I'm just here to call a spade a spade. And that spade is sex is not everything. Now, you need to step back and you need to reassess your life, because sex ain't everything. You can't come to me saying, Tyree, I want to have sex with you. Excuse me, do you even know when my birthday is? What is my middle name? What is my middle name? But you want to have sex with me? First of all, why are you rushing something that isn't even supposed to happen yet? See, that's another thing about grown folk and young folk. Y'all, everybody, we rush stuff. That's what we do. But you can't rush that. You can't rush the process. Because that is one thing of two things that when you have it, you can't get it back. Time, once you spend it, you can't get it back. And your virginity, once you lose it, it's gone. It's gone. It's something that you got to hold sacred. And then for a lot of people, you get to a point where it's like, I don't even understand why I had sex with that person to begin with. Now, that's all a part of growing up. But that's why I'm here. Because Tyree has the audacity to pull you out of situations before you get into the situation. We at Tyree has the audacity try to prevent things from happening instead of learning while you're in them. See, I want you to learn from other people's mistakes. I don't want you to have to go through the same mistakes that your mother went through, that your grandmother went through, that your daddy went through, that your granddaddy went through. You got to learn from them. You don't have to always go through something to get the lesson. You don't. And that is what I want people to understand. So please wait on sex. And then when you get married, and if the sex isn't great, there is pleasure in learning how to please the person that you're married to. It is pleasure in exploring different places of a person that you're married to. There are no boundaries because you are a union. You are one. So now you can put your bodies together to become one. See, without a union, sex is meaningless. And sex is not a meaningless thing. It's meaningful and it's purposeful. And when you use it outside of its purpose, you become an enemy to yourself. You become an enemy to yourself. And that's not what I want for you. And you shouldn't want that for yourself. So here's what I want you to practice when it comes to love. For one, if you're in a relationship and you're insecure about the way you look, get out the relationship, because nobody can tell you how to love yourself. If you feel like you're ugly, break up with the person that you with, because no matter how many times they tell you you're beautiful, you're still going to feel ugly on your insides. And you are probably a beautiful person, but you just got to see it for yourself first. So that's my first tip. Break up with the person you're with if you don't love yourself. Tip number 2. Learn effective communication. Effective communication is being able to talk without you cursing at me. You don't got to curse at me to get your point across. Now, I get it. We all curse. Okay? We ain't saints. We all say words now and then. I'm not going to say them on the podcast because I know I got all people of all ages listening. And I'm going to respect you guys. But you don't have to curse at me to talk to me. Talk to me. Don't yell at me. Don't scream at me, because I'm grown. I can understand what you're saying. I comprehend what you're saying. And if you feel like I don't comprehend what you're saying, then you're insulting my intelligence. Therefore, if you are insulting my intelligence, I don't need to be with you. 3. Tip number 3. Am I on tip number 3 or tip number 4? I think I'm on tip number 3. Tip number 3. when you get established into a relationship. You can't walk into something that requires all of you when you are not established. You can't take care of yourself. How you expect to fulfill somebody else's needs and you can't fulfill the needs that you require? Get established first. Tip number 4. When somebody say they like you, okay? You like them back. If you do. If you don't like them, evacuate the premises. But if you like a person and a person like you, that's all that it is. It's a like. Don't rush that like into love, because there's stages to this thing. And when you avoid the stages, see, God has a funny way of doing things. God has a sense of humor, actually. And you know what? Here's another tip. Here's an honorable mention. An honorable mention. You want to make the Lord laugh? Tell him what you plan to do and watch him crack up. You want to make the Lord laugh? Tell him what you plan to do. Because trust and believe, if you could hear the words from the Lord, he would tell you, you know what? You are such a hilarious person. The fact that you think you are going to jump from A all the way to D. No, the fact that you think you can jump from A all the way to Z without coming across the other 24 letters is comical. But see, this is one thing about the Lord that I know. He will put you in a position where he will bring you all the way back to where you started from, just to get the same lessons that you thought you were about to skip out on. It's a process to this thing, and you got to respect the process. You have to respect yourself enough to respect the process, because the process has respect for you. The process has respect for you enough to bring you all the way back to the beginning. Okay? Next tip. I think I'm on tip number 5. Tip number 5 is don't use your money as a means of expressing your love. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. Because you are going to be the one caught in the catch-22. You are going to be the one without $20 in your pocket, not the other person. I have had family members, friends, use money to try to buy love, and they still not satisfied. And it pisses me off when I see these same people take advantage of my friends and my family members, and I can see what they're doing. And my friends and my family members are so blind that they cannot acknowledge the problem at hand. But it's okay, because over here at TYREE has the audacity. Oh, I'm exposing the enemy. And sometimes the enemy is laying up with you in your bed. Yes. The enemy can be laying up in your bed. Yes, you can be having sex with the enemy. Yes, you can be kissing the enemy. Yes, you could be loving the enemy, and you don't know. But here's one thing that I do know. When you lay down with dogs, you'll wake up with fleas. And yes, you females can be dogs too. And matter of fact, let me speak on this to the females. Ladies, I love you. I really do. I love you with all of my heart. A man could not be a man without a woman on his side. But let me explain something to you. This is 2019. It is July 3rd, and it is approximately 3:59. And before it turns to 4 o'clock, I want to let you know, stop saying that all men ain't SHIT, because I want you to know something. If all the men you associate yourself with are SHIT, then your recommendations for men are SHIT. What you require of men is SHIT. The things you use to attract these specific men is SHIT. Something inside of you is SHIT to be attracting SHIT men. See, it's about you. You can't put the blame on us. You can't put the blame on men who do you wrong. You want to know why? Because time after time, when you continue to enter into different situations where it always ends the same way, then baby, it's something about you that you need to fix within yourself. It's something about you that you need to deal with. You need to step back and reassess your life, because it's something in you that's attracting ain't shit men. And guys, it's the same thing for you. When you enter into relationships and the girl you continue to attract do you wrong, then you need to step back and you need to associate yourself with the right things. But in order for you to associate yourself with the right things, you have to figure out the problem. What is it inside of you that's attracted to these people? And what is it in you attracts these people? You have to do your work. You have to do your work. Until you do your work, the work will outdo you. And when you become a slave to the process, everything will go according to how it's supposed to. But when you become a slave to rushing, everything that you do will bring you to your knees, and it will have you go all the way back to where you started from. And until you learn the lesson that is presented to you at hand, you will continue to go through the same thing over and over and over and over again. Now me, I ain't gonna waste my time. You know, I'm a young guy, but I have the good sense. I have the good sense that God gave me. We all have the good sense that God gave us, but for some reason people don't like to use it. Why? Because of love. You think you're in love with somebody. You think you love the person that you're with. You think that the person loves you, but I'm here to tell you that that's not love. What you think is love is lust. What you think is love is laziness. What you think is love is lost. You're lost. And you're looking for answers in other people, when really you need to find the answers within yourself. It's what you need to do. That is what you need to do. I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect. But we all come with special skills and special tools. And each and every day I work to sharpen my knife. Every day. Every hour. Every minute. With every second. I'm sharpening my knife. I'm sharpening my knife. I'm sharpening my knife. Say it with me. I'm sharpening my knife. I'm sharpening my knife. Why are you sharpening your knife? Because you don't know when the next time you're going to have to cut into something. You don't know when you're going to have to release something. You don't know when you're going to have to cook with the knife that you was given. You can't do anything with a dull knife. You can cut butter with a dull knife, but who eats butter? That's disgusting. You can't eat butter by itself. You can't eat butter by itself. You got to use the butter to cook with. And see, you got to use your knife. You got to sharpen your knife. Because you can't be dull. You got to be sharp. Your spirit, it has to be sharp. Your tongue, it has to be sharp. Your attitude, it has to be sharp. Your purpose, it has to be sharp. Your livelihood, it has to be sharp. The way you go about doing things, it has to be sharp. Your life has to be sharp. When your life is sharp, you outshine all of the demons. When your life is sharp, you outshine all of the enemies that try to come your way. You outshine the problems that thought they were going to affect you. You got to outshine them. You have to outshine them. You got to grow. Because TYREE has the audacity to never let anything or anyone make Tyree feel or believe or think that he is less than what he know that he already is. See, you have to get to that level. Look at yourself in the mirror. Matter of fact, if you in the car, no, not if you're in the car. If you're at home, go to the mirror. Look at yourself. Say, I love myself. I accept every flaw that I have. Ladies, if you got stretch marks, take a permanent marker and connect them. If you got a lopsided smile, turn your head and it'll be straight. If your teeth crooked, get some braces. Get Invisalign. They got a sale. If you don't like your hair, fix it. If you don't like your clothes, buy new ones. If you don't like your sheets, wash them. You got to love yourself. You got to take time for yourself, because at the end of the day, the love you have for another person means absolutely nothing when the love you have for you is non-existent. You have to get to that point. You have to get to that point. And then when you can love somebody, you love them to the fullest potential, and you make sure that the love that you are giving to them is being reciprocated and thrown back with the love they have for you. Be not unequally yoked is what the Bible says. You have to make sure that the person loves you just as much as you love them. All right? Now, I want to thank you for tuning into my first episode of TYREE Has the Audacity, where we discussed love. Now, I want you to take what I said and I want you to apply it to your daily life. And believe me, it will make a difference. Once again, my name is TYREE. I have been your host for this morning, this afternoon, and this evening. And I can't wait for you to tune in to episode 2. Peace and blessings to you all. I love you way more than you love yourself. Now, at that moment, you should be like, TYREE, you can't love me more than I love myself. That's what you should have said. But it's okay. We get into that point. But I want you to know that I love you. You are beautiful. You are brave. You have courage. You have the courage to love. You have the courage to act. You have the courage to be creative. You are creative. You can act. You can sing. You can draw. You can write. You can dance. You are creative. You can speak. You are powerful. You are beautiful. You are bright. You are intelligent. You are a blessing to everyone who walks this earth. And people don't understand. People won't understand you tomorrow when you walk into the workplace and they see this sudden glow on you. You have to walk with the attitude where I bless the ground that I walk upon. That is what we're working towards. That is what we're getting at. You are amazing. We are amazing. TYREE Has the Audacity. Episode 1, the 4-letter word. It is now 4:09, and I want you to have a beautiful day on purpose, with purpose. Love you. Peace.